Welcome to the Game of Life podcast, where we bring you inspiring softball stories, insightful tips from coaches and players, and explore how the game transcends its boundaries to become a metaphor for life. Whether you're a sports enthusiast, a casual fan, or someone just looking for inspiration, you're in for a treat. We'll unravel the tales that go beyond the scoreboard. Discover how perseverance and hard work on the field translates into resilience in your daily challenges. Learn about teamwork, leadership, and the unwavering spirit that fuels success, not just in sports, but in the game of life.
Welcome back to the Game of Life. Excited to have you here. We got a good topic in store tonight, and for once, I'm going to turn a question on good old Dad here instead of him turning something on me to start us off. How do you feel about that?
I gotta go. See ya.
Yeah.
Connection's bad. Connection's getting bad.
All right. So tonight I want to talk about being busy versus being productive. I think that's something that goes for sports, but a lot in life too. So just start out broad to you. What does that difference mean? Being busy versus being productive?
Well, the first analogy, as I think of a hamster on the hamster wheel, right?
Yeah.
They
Okay.
they run on that wheel all day long. If you've ever had a pet hamster, looked at a hamster, man, they're busy. They're on that hamster wheel all the time. But where
Yeah.
do they go? Nowhere.
Yeah.
I think that's the difference between being busy and productive. If a hamster was productive, they'd find a way to build some more tunnels, which they do sometimes, or buy another hamster home so they have more assets. I mean, we're getting a little carried away now, but
You're the only one talking. No,
but but
no, I like it. I like it.
most people are just on the hamster wheel of life, going up early. And at the end of the day, you think you've had this super great day. You were just busy like completing tasks. There's no
Yeah.
productivity, there's no growth. Busy means every minute of your day is taken care of. Productive means you've actually worked on something to get better. That's my take on it.
Yeah, no, I like that a lot. I think the one that used to frustrate me in college, or even you see it with people at work, right, is I'll look back at a day and be like, whoa, I was so busy, but I can't cross one thing off my list. Like I didn't finish anything. And I think one practice that I've learned that's been helpful is do little tasks first. Crossing something off or like just not letting it occupy your mind anymore is really helpful too. I'm just curious your thoughts on that too, like being able to physically, for me, it's physically cross something off. Instead of just looking back, right? Because then you kind of get down on yourself of I was so busy, but how didn't I complete anything?
Yeah, I mean, I love the fact you're crossing stuff off the list, but sometimes being productive is even much more than that because if you're just
Yeah.
crossing little things off a list and you, to me, being productive means you've actually intentionally took time to
Yeah.
work on something to make you better. So, I mean, it might be reading a couple pages of a book. It might be actually starting to journal where there's nothing that comes out of that except when you stack that every day, you become consistent. Uh,
Hmm.
so there's a fine line, but productive means changing gears from A to B to C to D sometimes, not just uh, having standard hours and then coming home and relaxing and say, "Whew, I was busy today." But I like where you were going with that.
No, yeah, and I almost feel like being busy can make you productive or it can make you bitter. And what I mean by that is I think growing up as an athlete, when I was busy, it helped me time manage and prioritize because I'm like, okay, I have this set amount of time to do this, so I have to be productive at it because this is my one shot to get it done because I have XYZ tasks to do later. Where some cases it's easy to be like, oh, I'm so busy, I'm so tired, and then get in on that hamster wheel of doing the same thing every day, convincing yourself that you're tired, and maybe you are, but really you're just not being productive, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So the next part of being busy, and we know these types of people, they're busy and there's not a time for anything, but they slept until 10. Then they went and had breakfast. Then, you're on going down the rabbit hole of Instagram Reels or TikToks or whatever, and you have your
Yeah.
class. Then you go back into the lounge or lobby and you have your coffee in the afternoon or you take a nap. And then at the end of the day, you're up till 11 cramming in some work. And whew, I was so busy.
Hmm.
Now you just didn't prioritize anything. And
Right.
so the first part was busy, meaning hamster wheel versus productive growth. The second part is, were you really busy or did you just not set any priorities or have any discipline in your day? What do you think about that?
No, I resonate with that a lot because my mind goes immediately to college because it was really easy to wake up, go to practice, then oh, I'm tired from practice. I deserve a break, right? Like and really my break is when most people's days are just starting or they're being productive. So now I'm like, oh, I deserve a break. Next thing I know, it's 2 p.m. I have class now. I'm like, oh crap, okay. I go to class. Then we have practice again. So I go back to practice. Then, oh, I need dinner. Or my friend's calling me. I'm going to FaceTime her. Next thing I know, it's 6 p.m. and I didn't do anything as far as school goes. So right now, maybe instead of FaceTiming a friend or scrolling on TikTok for 30 minutes, I could have been productive. So now when it's 6 p.m., I'm in a better spot and I don't feel as busy from staying up to do school until midnight. So,
Right. And so I like talking about these words because busy versus productive also is a matter of perspective. So
yep.
if you've never challenged yourself or you've never had a lot on your plate, you think anytime someone gives you a couple tasks to do, all of a sudden you're busy and overwhelmed. But if you understand, there's a lot of time in a day.
Yeah.
You can knock a lot off in 20 minutes or 30 minutes. And you also have to understand if you're working on something for 20 minutes set task, maybe it's something you can't finish today, but 20 minutes a day for a week, all of a sudden you finish the task. Certain people get stuck on that and then they fall behind. And there's just you have to track it, you have to log it, you have to prioritize, you have to say no to people. But
Yeah.
most importantly, you have to know you'll get through the day.
Yeah. I think going back to your point, there really are so many hours in a day because I'll sleep in on a Saturday till 10:30 and I'll wake up in a panic. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have played two travel ball games by now. Like I could have, you think of the days when you're up at 5:30 and doing whatever. And it's just funny. There truly are a lot of hours in the day. And I think too, even looking at now, so outside of college, working a job, right? A lot of people go to their job, go home. And I have a lot of people say to me, oh my gosh, you coach all the time. Like, aren't you exhausted? Like, how do you do that? And the same for you. Like, you coach, teach, own a business. Like, you got a lot going on too. But I think that type of it's a good busy when you look at it like that, right? Because I think certain people thrive off of packed schedules. And when it's rewarding to you, I think that it's a lot easier to kind of handle and have that good perspective on.
Yeah, and I think you have to find a lot of meaning in what you do. Like I left the house at 6:30 this morning to go on my walk, drink my coffee. I mean, I came back to get ready for work quick, but it's 10:30 at night right now, and I haven't watched any TV. I can't tell you what's going on in the world. But I've gone from walking to working out to school to golf practice to closing my business and now to podcasts. I was
Yeah.
joking earlier, you're my second podcast of the evening, and I have the
I
same
know.
clothes on in both episodes. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll go home and I'll still be in bed by 11:30. Like it's
Mhm.
you can pack so much in the day. But if you're just busy, busy, busy all the time, I think you get more overwhelmed because you're not doing things you want to do. You're doing things you feel you have to do.
Yeah, and I think I don't want to come across too like it's okay to be tired when you're doing all this stuff. Like
Absolutely.
some days you're gonna be tired, but I think when there's purpose and meaning behind it, it fires me up. Like when I get up and work out and go to work and then have 6 lessons a night and then I come home and it's 10 p.m. and I eat a quick dinner and I call my family and then I'm in bed at 11. Like I look back at my day and I'm proud of it. know,
Yep.
and I think that's
Amen.
something it's something I strive for, and it's not perfect every day. There's some days where I, watch 7 Netflix episodes of whatever, and then I go to bed and I do better the next day, but it's a balance.
Well, you can't be so hard on yourself. You don't ever have the slack days, whatever that means to you. Or there's the days you just sleep in till literally noon and you try not to feel guilty for not accomplishing anything. Like you have to listen to your body and everybody has different needs and expectations and depending on your age when you sleep and what you do. But I mean, you get one shot at this trip. How many ever times around the sun you go? And like, why
Yeah.
wouldn't you just fulfill it? You know,
Yeah.
so quick story. I was on my walk today, and this happens a lot, but this was a new house I walked by today, and there's this big old dog just growling at me, and I'm like, whoa. And then I'm like, oh, it's got invisible fence. Let me bark, and it wouldn't get close, bark wouldn't get close, and then it just ran off to the back. And I'm like, that's most people. That dog thought he was king of his domain.
Yeah.
But and I've used this analogy 100 times and it never gets old. If he just break through the 5 seconds of pain, he could have had my leg as a lamb chop or get on my, had my, eaten me up or whatever. But
Yeah.
they, nobody likes to continually challenge themselves like that. And I don't know what the fun of that would be to have this big kingdom, but I can't break through that barrier. I can't experience that
Mhm.
pain. I can't handle that heart better. I,
Yeah.
I just don't understand it any other way. That's just how I'm wired.
And it's a
It's a
learning curve
learning
too. Like, I'm continuously trying to learn how to be better and more productive and more efficient. And one story that resonated with me, and I think this for
curve.
kids in high school, college, work, wherever you are. I think when I came to work this year, I had someone tell me, I was telling them, I'm like, this process is so tedious. Like, it's taking me forever. And he's like, okay, well, I want you to go through every step you're doing. And I want you to ask yourself, is this adding value to anything that you're doing? Or are you just doing it because you feel like you should? And honestly, like that resonated with me a lot in every aspect of my life. Because growing up, and you and my mom can attest to this, in high school, I was like a note card kid. Anytime I had vocab, I needed to make note cards. It could be a 10-question quiz, it could be anything. And I got to college and I quickly was like, this is taking up too much of my time. Like I was making note cards for everything. And this is a silly example, but that was taking me 5 hours and then I had no time to study the note cards, right? So now I'm creating work for myself. Is it adding value? I don't know, right? And it's kind of caused me to take steps back sometimes and just look at things I'm doing and saying, is this adding value still? Yes or no? And the answer can change, but things that are no can either be pushed to the end of your list or maybe crossed off completely. That
All
just really
right.
resonates with me.
We knew this was a short episode tonight, but I think in what we've discussed, we've just figured out the difference between busy and productive. You ready?
Yep.
Being busy means you're maintaining things in your life. Being productive means you're adding value to your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you have to maintain things in your life and stay busy, but you have to find time to be productive and add value.
Love it.
I think we just nailed it.
Yeah.
Now we have
Yeah.
to practice what we preach.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Everyone out there can hold us accountable for that. So anyone who's
Yeah.
listening.
And any high achiever, understands there's a fine line between both because you always want to feel the need to be busy. But I think we got it.
Yeah.
You have to find a balance between being busy and maintenance and being productive and finding value.
Yeah. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head too with you get one chance at this life. So just do everything you can at it. Like be busy, dive into stuff, So that's all I
Appreciate it.
got.
Yeah,
Yeah.
appreciate it. Feel grateful, right?
Yes.
All
Yep.
right. Thanks for putting me on the spot with a question.
Anytime. Maybe next time too. Maybe we'll do two in a row.
All
All
right. See you, Alan.
right. Bye guys. See ya.